plan, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I know we are not moving, we are moving actually at a good pace. It is not that slow, but be rest assured that when you grab these concepts, Ara will be your favorite uh, analysis platform. So as you can see, all my data analysis is in R. I actually write all these codes there in 2000, and this is just an example for one of the data sets I run. Just one. The codes are in 2400. So yeah, I think let's go back to where we stopped from. So did we all manage to get a summary of DF? I think Latifa, you need to run this code. First of all, if you haven't installed Read Excel package, you install it and call it and copy this data set that I sent you and paste it into your working folder. Then you can you can call the data set using this command df. So today I'm going to, I think I edited part of this code. Let me share it with you. So the second link, it is the code, but you can follow with me, and you're going, after all, you're going to write it again. It is better you write it again by yourself. So, Latifa, have you loaded DF? Have you managed to load this dataset?
It's
You
what
can
I'm
share
doing.
you can share your screen and we see what you're doing.
Okay.
Hmm? Have you downloaded the demonstration dataset?
Yeah, I'm trying to copy it into my working environment. My
No,
working folder.
you go to where the folder is in your desktop or wherever I put it, copy it and paste it there. So when you come back to refresh here, it will be there.
When I open the data, it appears in an Excel sheet. And when I
Yes.
copy it and I try to post it to the other side, it's not pasting.
Let's see what you're doing, please. I think you're sharing a different screen, or it is Nico is not seeing. Will you share how you're doing it? Because we can't see now. Minimize the R Studio.
Okay.
Just close it.
Where is it? So this is the data.
I don't
Can
know
you
if
see
it's
it?
me who doesn't see. We can't see anything.
Should I also share this? I don't know how to do that.
First, unshare, and I mean share again your screen because we only see our studio screen.
Okay. So this is the data.
So go to File, Download, then download Microsoft Excel. Go to your downloads, copy that full file that was downloaded.
Mm, mm,
You see that file that was downloaded? It is in your downloads.
Okay.
Go copy it and paste it into your working folder. I don't know if it is me, but I'm still stuck on your screen of Excel sheets. I can't see what you're doing.
Copy. This is. I've pasted it.
So you open R Studio now.
Yeah, I'm done.
So you set that folder as a working directory again. Okay, stop sharing and share again because your screen keeps on hanging.
Mm.
Hmm? I can't see it in your IBM folder. Refresh and I see. Okay, it is there. You set that folder as a working director again. Okay. Have you installed readr? I mean read Excel.
Your network is unstable. I can't hear.
It is yours. Have you installed read Excel? Down, down.
Pardon?
Have you installed read Excel library?
Not yet.
It is there. You've just passed it. Install read Excel.
It's here.
Yes. Install it and call it and run df.
So you run line 102.
How do I install it? Should
Run
I
line.
just
You run.
Press your cursor at line 102 and press Control Enter.
So that means it is installing. That's what you see it doing. Do you see that red button? Okay, it's gone. But I wanted to show you the red button which shows that the code is running, because you will be seeing it more so when you begin running models and simulations. But we shall show you later on. So you can now you run line 103.
Call the library. Then run df, that line 105. So those are the things we went through yesterday, the head, the tail. You can run them and see what they are.
Excuse me.
Pardon?
We went through that head and the tail. You can run those lines and see what you get.
Okay, can I stop sharing?
It's okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else
Excuse
with a
me.
problem?
Yeah.
What is it?
Let me first share my screen and okay. I just wanted to know if I'm on the right track. This is the data set I've imported. It is DF4, and then I ran the read Excel. Then from there, from the library, when I ran this one, it's bringing me that one. I don't know what the problem is.
Because that's not what is in your folder, is it? What you want to run is the Excel file that is in your workspace. Is the Excel file on your workspace called DL4?
Yeah, it's the file I actually imported. D4X is the file I imported.
D4 is the file you imported.
Yes, sir.
How did you import it?
Okay, after I downloaded the data, I saved
You, you,
it,
you show
and
the
then
code.
the code.
You imported it directly from the environment. So if you
Yeah.
imported it directly from you don't need them to write another code for that.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is already there in your environment. You don't need to again set df. So if you want to name it df, just set df and assign it to df4.
Yeah.
The other side, instead of read Excel df4, just set df, assign to df4. So delete that whole line of
Okay.
saying read Excel df4.
Okay.
Line 94, line 94. Delete the right side, the one on the right. No,
This one.
delete the entire line on the right. Even that df4 thing, delete. Okay, delete the entire line. So you say df on the second on that line, press enter. Say df, assign it to be df4. No, say df and assign it to be df4.
df4.
It is the same as saying
Ah,
df equals df4.
okay.
No, no brackets, no brackets. So in your environment, you have two
Yes.
similar, look in your environment. You have two similar data
Yes.
sets. What that helps you, it preserves the original data set. When you make an error, you go back and use the original data set.
Okay.
You get the point now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, stop sharing and we continue.
Excuse me, doctor.
Okay.
I think I have a similar problem.
Share your screen.
Okay.
What is the problem?
So like whatever we did yesterday, because yesterday I named mine as DF2.
It doesn't matter what you've named it. The naming is upon you to remember the names you use. Whether you name it a different name, you can also assign it to BDF. It's okay.
Because
Whether you name it,
if I try to call it, like for example, this statement of maybe 888, and I try, it says it could not be found.
because you haven't called the library read Excel. First call the library, then do it again.
Okay, thank you. Got it.
Okay. What we are going to learn today is a bit tough now. We are going to go into the real issues. So we said head gives you the first 6 columns, the first 6 rows of the data to just peep into the data set. You can choose to see the first 4 or the last 3 by adding a comma and the number of rows you want to see. If you want to know the number of columns in the data set, you use the ncol, number of columns, in the ncol as your command. If you want to know the number of rows, you use the nrow. If you want to know the column names, as we shall see, column names are important to know. You say column names and you put the data frame in brackets. Call names is the command and you put the data frame you want to see the column names in the brackets. If you want to see the structure of the data frame, you can just say structure data frame. So structure DF, you see this one is called the table, which is part of a data frame. If you want to know, is it really a data frame, you can just say is data frame DF, then it will respond with a true or false. So this is a data frame, true. So this is not so important, but it's important to know whether you're dealing with a data frame or not. But structure of the data frame is important because you want to know which of the items or the features in your data set, what are their characteristics? Are they numerical? Are they factor? Are they a character? You want to know what is it. So yesterday, from the raw data set I gave you, we saw that at first, I can just go back. Now, when I go back here and say structure, we saw that sex is supposed to be male or female, which is a factor. And in our structure, it is showing character. The same as education is supposed to be a factor. And in our structure, it is showing character. So you want to convert these into characters or into categorical variables. So categorical variable in language of R is called a factor. So you use this command. You say df, you call the data frame. You use this $sign. Then you put the variable you want to convert. Then you put the function, which is called as factor. Then the data frame and the variable in the brackets. And when we did that and came back to see the structure of DF, we see that now they are changed to factors. Sex is a factor with 2 levels. That means male and female. They are here listed. And education is a factor with 5 levels. So if you want to know which levels are in education and which levels are in each in sex, we use what we call a command called unique. So if you press unique, df $sign education, you get to know the levels inside. What is inside education? So this $sign is used to select a particular column in your data frame. For example, if you want to know the sexes, we can just say unique, then df sex. What are the unique components of the sex column? So df $sign, if you press the $sign, it will list for you the columns that you have. Then you select one of that you want, and it will show you which is male and female. This is important to show consistency. Sometimes people write their data frames with a small f, others capital F. So things are, when they are not clean, when you have to clean them, then you see what is inside, then you know what to clean. Then yesterday we also looked at summary to summarize everything in all the variables in our data frame. So the edge that is continuous to summarize as mean, max, median, interquartile range, while the factors, it will give us the numbers that are there. So let's first reach there and first work on that, and we see how far you are before we continue, because where we are going, things are a bit tough. First, confirm that you have understood that. Meanwhile, you can be sharing your screens and we see what you're doing. First with Samuel. We are not dealing with NYC flights at a time now. We are dealing with BF. Have you managed to get what you wanted to see? Okay. Jacinto, you can go next. Jacinto, share your screen. Or anyone who is ready to share. Yes.
Friend, these two.
Uh-huh. What is happening? Mm-hmm. You there? What is the summary like? Okay. Latifa, share your screen. Latifa. Latifa, are you with us? What is happening? Hmm? You go back to 6. You see, below 6, unique 6, type column names, DF, and you see the column names that you have. Write call names. Yeah, write call names. Call names is one command which shows the columns you have in the data set. Remove the brackets. Brackets DF. You want to know the column names in DF. So call names is the command. Press enter. Control enter. Run that. So you see that sex you have is capital S, and yet here you wrote small s. That's why you're getting an error.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the unique in sex? Run that unique sex. Please separate the two commands. You see line 141, you have two commands in the same line. Okay. Right, go to summary DF and we'll see. Run summary DF. Interpret for us what you see. Interpret.
summary. I interpret?
Yeah, interpret what you see.
So for the column of age, I'm seeing they're giving us is it the minimum, maximum, and the medium ages? Then for sex, they're giving us the number of females and males.
Okay. Who else is left? Andrew. That's fine. Andrew, share your screen. Okay. Do you have any problems?
No problem, sir.
Okay, let's move forward.
Excuse me. Mine, when I wanted to change the education factor, I mean sex factor, it is bringing me
Share your screen.
error. That's what I put for sex. When I read,
You read
it
the
got
error.
me warning.
Read the error. What is the error?
What?
What is it saying?
Warning message is unknown or identified column sex.
Yeah, it means the spelling of sex is not the same as the spelling in your data frame.
Oh, that's what it has brought.
Yeah, if you don't get any warnings, it means it has worked. You can do a structure and see if it has changed. Has it changed? Again, you see that you have two educations. Your line
Yeah.
of 97. See that the spellings are different because you created another column of education with a different spelling. And one of the things we shall learn that things on your left, when you put a dollar sign, it means you are creating a new column. So if you don't put the same spellings, it will create a new column. That's what you've done. Okay, let's move forward. I think today we should leave you with a lot of time to practice. So I said if you want to know how many observations or how many people you have in your data set, we know that with this data set, ID is the unique identifier for every person in the data set. So you want to know the length of the unique IDs that are in the entire data set. And length gives us the numbers or the count. And that is 100. There are 100 unique people in this data set. So like we saw up here that we saw that male and sex has 43, female and 57. If they are all unique data sets, I mean unique people, and it's not like a longitudinal data. You know, with longitudinal data, we collect data on same participant, but at different time points. So that means one person might have observations measured twice or more. If it's not an observation data, I mean an observational study, you can just do table. For example, table 6, and it gives you the numbers that you have 43 female and 57 male. So table will give you the numbers and what you have. You can also do table education. Table education. And it will tell you the different numbers that are there. So it's the same thing if you want to know the proportions, you use what we call proportion. You can use prop.table to tell us the proportions in each table, for each persons in a table. This we will be only unique because it is like a cross-sectional study. That's when we can use prop.table, the proportions 0.21, and they are like so this because they are 100. 21 divided by 100 is 21%, which is 0.21. So that is prop.table and table. Table gives you the number, prop.table gives you the proportions. We shall see even how prop.table will help us in other areas. So instead of doing summary DF, you can decide to do summary of one variable. For example, you can do summary of age alone. It is the same command, summary, but you choose only age. Then it gives you the minimum, the first quartile, median, mean, third quartile, and the max. It is the same command, but here I only select you select the variable that you want to summarize. Are we all there?
Yes, sir.
We are there, okay. So we are going to look at selecting columns and rows. Because in each data set, sometimes we don't want to use the entire data set. You can get a data set because the data sets that I work with have columns going to 180. You're not going to use all the 180 columns. So you might want to use some columns and not others. So this is how we select columns. So if you want to select columns from 1 to 3, and let me first show you this. So someone who comes from Python, the ID column will be index 0. But for us who come for us in R, the ID, the index column is 1, not 0. So this is 1, ID is 1, 6 is 2. Even if you put your cursor there, it will name it that it's column 3, this is column 4, this is column 5, this is column 6. So for someone who comes from Python, this will be column 0. But in R, it is column 1. So if you want to select from sex up to height and everyone else down for their content, and we don't want the rest of the data, we can just say df1 if you want to store that data frame. If we want to store it, we name it df1, and we are getting it from df. This time we use square brackets. The first comma means that we are selecting all rows. The rows that these things that go down, 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. We are selecting all rows, that's the first comma, and we are selecting columns from 1 to 3. And when you run that, and we get our df1, you see it has selected from column 1 to 3, ID, age, sex, 1 to 3. If you want to select columns 1, 3, 5, for example, I want to jump columns, still, we use just the same method and we only use the concatenate. Concatenate, that small c, is to mention what you want to select. So we can say we are going to store another data frame, but we are picking it from df. We are taking the first comma, I said it means we are taking all rows, and we are selecting columns 1, 3, and 5. And when we run that, df2 will have column 1, 3, which was sex, and 5, which was weight. If you want, for example, to compare sex and weight, you can just decide to create that small data frame. What about if I want to select only a few rows? I don't want to take all the 100 people. I want to take the first 20 people. So instead of I said like the first comma means the rows. So we take 1 to 20 rows, comma, and the space means we are taking all columns. All columns, but we are selecting rows from 1 to 20. So in this square bracket, the first side means row and column. So that's what it means. So if you just put a comma, it means you're selecting all rows. If you just put a comma here, it means you're selecting all columns. So if we run this df3, we shall have a data frame with only 20 observations, as you can see in the environment. It's the same thing if you want to pick rows 1, 3, and 5. It's the same thing. You put a concatenation and select all rows. If you want to select, for example, rows 1 to 20 and columns 1 to 3, so you don't need to put the concatenation, just say 1 to 20, comma, I'm selecting rows 1 to 20 and columns 1 to 3. If you want to select different columns, you can put a concatenation. So that's how it is. Please run that up to this area. And if you get any problems, let me know. If you're already there, you can tell me and we move forward. So you run up to that area. The next will be selecting always males or female, always select one of the elements of the columns. One by one, you can share your screen and we see how you're doing. It is better that you write these codes de novo and you don't just run what I typed. Run them de novo and know how to do it. When you type it, you learn. The rule is BF is outside the square bracket. That's the data frame you are picking from. And the first line of the data of the square brackets are rows you're selecting. And after a comma, you select the columns. Okay, who are we starting with? Andrew.
Excuse me, doctor.
Yes.
I'm not having that in my work, so I want to type, but your
Yeah,
screen is a bit.
you type. It is here. You just say, I want to select columns from 1 to 3 and know what to do. It's rows, columns. If you put a comma, it means you're selecting all what is there. You're selecting all rows now. Even here, selecting all rows. Comma, then space means you are now selecting all columns. Comma, all space means you are selecting all columns. Actually, Laila, hey, your code who? Latifa, share your screen. Latifa, okay, share, huh?
I've shared.
Now select columns 1 to 20 and select rows 1 to 20 and columns 1 to 3.
Pardon, on the columns.
1 to 3.
Mm.
Now select columns 1 to, rows 1 to 13. Type again, don't paste. Select rows 1 to 13.
Rows. Okay. 1 to
Yes,
13.
1 to 13, and the columns 2, 5, and 2, 3, and 1. No, select columns 1, 3, 4.
Columns 1, 3, 4.
I said select columns 1 to 13 and columns 1, 3, 4.
Rows 1 to 13. And columns.
1, 3, 4.
I put it in brackets. Is that even correct?
You already have an already X, which shows that your code is wrong. You see what you wrote up there. I said 1, 3, 4, not 1 to 4. When you're
Do I
choosing
put
different columns, use a concatenation.
okay?
Just look at line 161 and put commas. Although the first one didn't require you to put it in brackets. Okay. Is there anyone else with issues? Anyone else with issues? Please don't keep quiet. Has it worked out well?
Let me share mine. Sorry. I'm having an issue on this last one. I don't know whether because of this F or what, or
But
something else.
we haven't reached there. Again, read the comment. Read the error message.
Unknown or uninitialized column.
So when you do unique sex, do you have any F there? You type unique df sex. Do you see any F there?
But I think I can move it. Fine.
Even your DF2 doesn't have a 6. What? Does DF2 have a column called 6? You cut it off there. Like, you're sure it has? You do column names DF2 and see. Do you see 6 there?
It doesn't have.
Yeah. It means one of those data frames has 6. It is not DF2. So what is your original data set? In the environment. In the environment, not in the folder. Move up, move up. I want to see the entire, you change the entire, what did you do? Okay, you go up in your code. From down, from where you started from. When you started to chop off, down. Down. Somehow there is a way you messed up your DF2. You go up and load it again. This is why we don't touch the original data set. No, load it again. Not there.
This one?
Yes. Now make this age and sex factors and
In the same, just this one?
Now go back to your last column, your last line that you are doing. Do unique, get the column names again and see what is there. Now 6 is there. So you do unique 6 and see how many, what is inside 6. Six is not a data frame. When you're selecting a column, we use a $sign.
Is it like this?
Put the data frame where you're selecting it from. Male, female. You don't have M or F. Now you write the correct word that is there of what you want to select from your line. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello.
Yes.
Well, the network in me, so I'm really behind.
How far behind?
I'm still at the summaries, and the other assignment where we have to select the rows, I've not been able to complete. Yeah, that was where I ran out of internet.
Oh, come on. Okay. You share your screen. Think I'm going to give you Andrew to take you through. Andrew, take him through.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, where are you? You first go to you go to let's start at line. Let me see, what line is it? It is line. Okay, line. Let's start from line. There. Line 108. Line 109. So you're selecting data frame 4. You need to have square brackets. After data frame 4, put square brackets. Square brackets on the sides. Square brackets. Yeah, you remove the curly brackets and put square brackets. Both sides. Even on the other side, remove the curly brackets. Good. Another square bracket on the side.
No, those are not square brackets, sir.
Square brackets. Sorry, square brackets. You put curly brackets instead. Square brackets. So then 1 to 20, then put a comma. After 1 to 20, put a comma.
Again, those are not square brackets, unless I'm the one who is not seeing.
The square brackets don't hold shift. You just press the where you're getting that curly bracket from. Yeah.
Okay.
So what does that mean that you've written? Don't just
I
write.
think
What does it
I
mean?
think I'm creating data base 5, data frame 5, and then from database D4, DF4. But from row 1 to 20.
And you are selecting all columns.
I'm
Okay,
not getting.
run that. So now I want you to select all rows and columns 1, 3, 4. Select all rows and columns 1, 3, 4. Always remind yourself to put comments, because when you're revising, you won't understand.
All rows.
All rows, columns 1, 3, 4. Ah, Andrew, I've given you your man. Tell him what to do.
So remove the rows, the words rows. Yeah, so if it is empty, it implies that you are selecting all rows. So then you go to the columns. No, don't remove the comma. Comma, put a comma. Good. So that is now the next space for columns. So I don't remember what columns you were told to put.
1, 3, 4.
Put columns 1, 3, 4. You need concatenation to do that. Start with the C. Start with the C. Then put brackets and then put commas between numbers. Put curly brackets, good. Or put it inside.
You have a red X, means something is wrong.
There.
Close the bracket. Okay.
Good.
Has it worked?
It has worked.
Okay. So now the last one, do it on your own without any help. I want you to choose columns. Want you to choose rows. Rows 2, 20, and 40. Choose columns 2, 20, 40, and choose rows 2, 20, and 40, and columns 1, 3, 4. Choose rows 2, 20, and 40. And columns 1, 3, 4. You see the error? What is the error reading? You are getting an error.
Error in row bracket 2, 20, 40 could not find the function error.
Yeah, I also don't know what error means. The other side doesn't mean columns, sir. It means concatenation. It means you are joining those, you are selecting out those. So you can use also concatenating this side, a C, not R.
Yes, come.
Okay, let's proceed. We are left with a few minutes, by the way. I thought this would be. First, stop sharing. I thought we are going to be faster with this one. maybe I'll give you more time and you practice. Okay. DF6 is going to be, we are selecting only males. So when you are selecting only males, first of all, let's see how it is, the names in sex. They are called female, male. So instead of M, you're going to write male. So DF6, where is it? It has only males, and they are 57. So we can determine how many males by just saying any row, all the length of the IDs, because they are only males. How many males? We can just say length of the ID in DF6, and they are 57. So you should get the same number as we got in tabulation. So DF6, we are selecting DF from DF, and within DF, we are only selecting sex, and from sex, double sign, double equals, this is where we didn't want you to use it, equal. Double equals means it is equivalent, or you are selecting that. So you're selecting only the males and you're taking everyone, comma, you're taking everything with the males. Now we are going to look at renaming columns. Yeah, this is a kind of tough, but it's fine. So first of all, what we are doing, we are looking at column names of DF. So if you want to store this, you can store it as DF7. But anyway, we are renaming. Okay, column names from DF, and we are only selecting the column name called sex, and we are assigning that column name called sex to gender. This is a long method of renaming columns, but bear with me. We shall see shortcuts later. Column names for the data frame you want to rename. Then square brackets, select the column name from that data set that you want to rename, and that is sex, and assign it to something that you want to rename to. And when we look at DF, it has changed from sex to gender. Are we there? Queen Latif, are we there?
I'm typing. I'm still typing.
Okay. You see, when you're doing these codes, it's like you're telling R what to do. It should make sense, and you should know what you're doing. So column names of DF, we are selecting a column name called sex, and we are assigning that name to the new name called gender.
Doctor, let me share mine. You may guide me more. I'm not getting it.
Okay. Why are you getting the name thing?
Which one?
Where are you getting the name thing? From the right-hand side.
Okay, let me see. Thank you.
Latifa, share your screen. But yeah, if you're not doing what we are doing, the square bracket ends with 6. So you have put everything under square brackets. On your line 181, the square brackets ends with 6. You are selecting DF, column name DF, and from that you're selecting 6 and you're naming it, you are assigning it to gender. Isn't that easy? Jacinto, are we together?
Doctor,
Mm-hmm.
on line 174, I tried
Mm-hmm.
running it, but let me first rerun it. It was bringing this.
Unknown column 6. Do unique BF and we see. Ah, okay. It's okay. Anyway, you should have said column names, but we can see, do column names anyway. Do column names.
DF6. DF.
Mm-hmm. Column names, DF. DF is supposed to be in brackets. Ah, you had already named it gender. So when you went back, it can't see it. So instead of sex, put gender. Because you have renamed it already. But it will disturb you then. You've renamed it down there, so the DF has changed the name of sex to gender. You can type gender there. I hope you will remember it. Or you can
Yeah.
just, yeah. First, know what you're doing. What are you trying to do in line 174? Read it out.
We were trying to assign sex to gender. The
You
name.
sure?
No.
Line 174, is that what we are trying to do?
No, we were trying to select only males for the
And
sex
this-
part.
Yeah, so why do we have gender the other side?
What should I call that? Should I call it males? And
Of course, that's what you're selecting. Male, not male.
okay.
And you're selecting from gender, not sex, because you renamed it from sex to gender. So instead of DF $ sex, put DF $ gender.
Okay, thank you. Should I stop sharing this?
You run it. Jacinda, are we okay? Watara, are you there?
Hi.
Yes, Brenda.
Yes, please. I'm trying to be on track. I'm really sorry that I'm joining late. Usually I have a program that runs and it kind of runs in between this program as well. So, but I'm trying to follow up what you're explaining and I'm not yet on track. So what I've done, I've been able to import the data set that we're using, naming it as DF, but I've not been able to follow up like from like the next thing what we are trying to do.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were familiar with sorry. Okay. Please share your screen.
Okay. Is, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I was actually able to restart to load the data and I called it DF. Yes, but from now I'm sure this is what we did yesterday, but I can't follow from what we are currently doing now.
Okay, you move down to where you stopped, where things stopped working for you.
Okay, here.
Okay, so we are now looking at selecting columns. Okay, if you could,
Okay.
I put a new code that we are working on in the chat. This is the code in the chat. You will download it later. But now
Okay.
we are not going to
Okay,
do
thank you.
dropping. We're not going to do dropping variables as early as now. We are going to start off from selecting columns and rows. After selecting columns and rows, then we go to renaming columns. So, who knew these things? Let me see. Samuel, please take her through from selecting columns and rows to where we are. Samuel, are you there?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, you take her through from selecting columns and rows to where we are. Start off by selecting rows, then selecting columns, then selecting columns and rows, then renaming rows.
Upon selecting, because she's starting with selecting columns, it's okay.
Yeah. So you take her through the theory that when you are selecting a column, we select it from the data frame. We use square brackets, and the first row is the first portion is the rows, comma, then columns. Okay, you can start from there. So the example you can start with is what we did, selecting rows. Was it columns 1 to 4, something like that?
Yeah, let's take 1 to 4. 1 to 4. That will be, I don't know how you have saved yours, how you saved your, is it DF?
Yeah, it's DF. I save my data as DF.
So you have DF, and then let's go down. So you'll put there DF, first put that off, yeah, DF. And then we assign that is the other, like the less than sign and then minus or something like that, like less or equal to. And then dash, then there is a, okay, let's first rename this. We can call it something else, the one we are selecting. Let's call this, instead of DF, we can maybe call DF1.
Okay.
The one on your left. Then on the right now, after that symbol, put a space. But there may be let's put DF, the one that we're going to select from. In DF, then we put there a square bracket. Let's say if we are selecting from 1 to 4, then you'll put there 1 colon 4. You try to run that and you see control, then enter. Yeah, I think that is okay. If you can check in your environment where there's this DF1, I think first move in the environment on the right, stream right, that is DF1. DF1 down, down, down. After demonstration data, there's where there's DF1.
Okay, yeah.
So now on the extreme, at the end of that line, I wanted us to see DF1 along that same, on the extreme end of DF1. What is that DF1 on the extreme right? Is that thing there that looks like a table, like what? First click on it, extreme right.
Okay.
Click on that. Yeah, so I think that is from 1 to 4. Those are the ones that we have just selected. Let's go back. Were we using YouTube R? Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Next, let's see if we're maybe, but before that, why you have put that selecting columns on line 158.
Okay.
For proper notes, you add there. You can say selecting columns 1 to 4. Maybe just 1 colon 4, meaning 1 to 4.
There is a mistake there.
Yes, doctor.
You didn't put a comma before 1 to 4.
I thought we said the comma was for all what is it? All
It means you're
all
selecting
rows?
everything. So if it is 1 to 4, I mean, you say the comma first means you're selecting all rows, then columns 1 to 4. If it is at the last, it means you're selecting all columns.
So the comma is inside the square bracket
Yeah,
before 1.
yes. Yes. So it means you're selecting all columns, or I mean all rows, and you're selecting columns 1 to 4. So you don't need to put a space between DF and the square brackets.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then
Okay.
the next one, let's take for example, if we're going to select, you can make a new one, new heading there that we're not
Yeah.
going to read. Let's say we are selecting, let's take like columns maybe 1, 2, and 6. Copying and pasting. Okay. You can put 1, 2, and then maybe 6. Yeah. Then below that, can call it maybe DF2. Let's name that one as DF2. DF2, the one that we're going to get. Then we assign, and we are selecting from DF. And then we called it what? Putting things together, concatenating. So inside the square bracket, we can put there a small c for concatenating. We're going to put those 3 columns together, and then put a round bracket. That is okay. And then we put in those numbers 1, 2, 6. Yeah, and then we run that and see how it will look. Doctor, I don't know whether there was need again for a comma before that one. I didn't get that well. Or that one is meaning that we are not taking all the rows. Doctor? Hello?
Yeah, we are getting you. I don't know if Doc is getting you.
I think it might be off.
Okay, we need a comma after concatenating.
Okay.
After this concatenation, then there is a comma. No, not that one. After at the end of the 6.
At the end of the round bracket.
Yeah. So put a comma. So that first part are the rows. Now that second part should be the columns. So if you want one column, you can just put one. Okay, let's take 2 columns, 1 to 2.
Okay, 2 columns.
Yeah, you put 1 to 2. Hey, you're exiting.
So the comment there is wrong. You are selecting rows 1 to 6.
I was asking about, Doctor, I was asking about that comma there. Is it okay, like if I was selecting columns, is there a need for me to put that comma before the concatenation?
If you're selecting rows,
no, if I'm selecting columns,
if you're selecting columns, the comma has to be before.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're selecting all rows and only selecting columns, a few columns, the comma has to be before. It is just a row column in that square bracket. You just have to know that. In the brackets, I mean those square brackets, row columns. If you put a comma and nothing, it means you're selecting everything there. For example, if you are selecting rows 1, 2, 6, comma, and a dash, It means you are taking all columns and you are selecting rows 1 to 6.
Okay. That's okay. So maybe let's make one also for columns, or the other the one we have had on line 158 is enough. I don't know. Would you like to complete DF3, the one you have written as DF3?
Yes, for sure. So you
Okay.
were saying I should select columns. Is it column 1 to 2, or I didn't get what you said? Sorry.
I think Abel had proposed that we select maybe 1, 2 instead of 1 to 6, so we can put that DF.
Okay.
DF, and then we square bracket, we concatenate, we're putting together. So we have 1, 2, round bracket first, 1, 2, 1, comma 2. Then at the end of the round bracket, we put another comma. So that means we are taking all the columns there. Yeah. And then maybe we can also go to, we can select some rows and then some columns. We combine them and
let's see if she has learned something.
Okay.
So in the next one, do it at your own. Select, write the comment, select.
Let's comment out.
Select rows 1 to 20. And the columns, no, in the same sentence. And the columns 1 to 4. Do that on your own. So if you are doing 1 to 20, you don't need to use concatenation.
Okay.
Concatenation means if you want to select different columns, rows or columns that are not in order. So you can remove that C, and you can also remove the brackets and leave only the square brackets. You can leave the bracket, even the other side. Because now those are in order, you don't need to put the concatenation to give you the same result.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, so now we can go to renaming columns.
Okay.
Yes, Samuel, take her through renaming column. So before renaming columns, let's first select a column. Let's select only males.
Okay.
So put a comment selecting columns and put selecting male. You have a few minutes.
Can call that one DF5, maybe DF5. And then we assign, we are selecting from DF. And then we have a square bracket there. But then from DF, we are again going to select from that DF, we repeat DF there, but we are selecting only males. DF,
Okay.
then the dollar sign.
That should include DF.
Yeah, DF.
Okay.
So dollar sign. And then males, I think that ones are located under, I think should be 6. Yeah, so we shall type there 6.
6. SEX. That one. It's capital
small.
Yeah. Yeah, sec. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then we shall put double equal signs. That's equivalent to.
So from 6, you are selecting inside
the square bracket.
Okay.
Then we open quote. Open quote. Then we write there, I think we are selecting male, so you write there males. Male. And from our data, it was capital M.
Yeah, so name this DF5. Wait, run it. Is there anything missing?
There is a comma, I think, a comma before the end of the square bracket, just after closing the quote.
Yeah. Means you are taking everything concerning the males. When you look at it, when you view it, you see it as on a 57 observations, which were only males. You can review and see. Yeah. So renaming column is almost the same thing. You can go down. So we are selecting column names, and the column names, we are getting them from DF. And from the column names, we are selecting sex, and we are assigning that sex gender. That's what the line on 173 is meaning.
Okay.
We are looking at column names from DF, and from that column from DF, we are selecting a column name called sex, and we are assigning that sex to a new name called gender.
Okay.
By the way, sex is capital S, so if you say small s, it will bring you an error. So run it. Okay, you can check and see from DF, because that's what you have renamed. Okay, it's now renamed gender. So you download this R script that I've shared with you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, download that R script because the time is yeah. So after downloading that R script, I'm going to share with you okay, let me share with you this YouTube video, and you follow that as your practice. So make sure you practice these things. They look simple and they are basic, but you will be using them throughout your data analysis, renaming columns, selecting, things like that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so let me see, where is dplyr? Okay. Okay, let me see what to post the video. Let me look for the video I want you to work